I want you to fast forward a few years in time. Think of your future grandchildren, of your great great grandchildren. Do you want them to know what a clear blue sky looks like? Or what inhaling a deep breath of clean air feels like? Your actions today influence whether or not they get the chance to do so. In this speech, I am going to urge you in recycling your trash because it reduces energy use, air pollution, and landfill space. I urge you to recognize the importance of recycling and to take part in the positive impact it has on the planet we live on. I am going to explain how placing aluminum and paper in recycle bins reduces the energy or the fossil fuels we emit, the toxic gases that are released upon their production, and lastly, the amount of space they occupy in landfills. First, let's discuss energy reduction. Energy use reduction. When a new product is manufactured, energy is used to extract and process the materials that it is made of, meaning fossil fuels are used for a product that could have easily been made out of recycled material and reduced energy consumption. You see, aluminum is one of the most efficient things we can recycle. The amount of energy it would take to produce one brand new can of Pepsi or of Dr. Pepper is the same amount used to recycle 20 aluminum cans, and quite quickly too, as it would only take 60 days to go from being deposited into a recycle bin back into being sold in store shelves. Another great example is paper, which ranks at the top of the list in the most recycled materials in the United States. Doing so not only saves thousands of trees, but it also only uses 60% of the total energy that's needed to manufacture fresh paper from pulp, as well as requiring only half the amount of water needed for processing wood, according to an Energy Administration report titled How Does Recycling Save Energy? Secondly, let's talk about the impacts recycling has on air pollution. According to the Sustainability Department of the University of Central Oklahoma, if aluminum recovery were doubled worldwide, more than 1 million tons of air pollutants would be eliminated every year, and the production of products from recycled paper reduces air pollution by a whopping 73%. Most notably, cutting down the consumption of raw materials when we can very well reuse them also lowers greenhouse gas emissions, which we all know are the catalysts for our worsening climate change and is the equivalent of taking 5 million cars off the road. By reducing the amount of waste sent into the incinerators, which is the cause behind acidic rain, we are reducing the harmful effects it has on the ground, as well as the toxic ash produced that contaminates groundwater and which creates air pollution, which harms the animals and plants we need to survive, as well as the very oxygen we need to live. Lastly, I want to bring attention to the resting place of our trash, landfills. The usage of fossil fuels like oil, coal, and gas result in energy that releases harmful gases such as oxides of nitrogen into the very air we breathe to live. Air quality around landfills tends to be worse due to the high levels of hydrogen sulfide coming out of the ground. And a study in 2011 conducted by the UNC Gillings School of Global Public Health in Orange County found that people living near the regional landfill were being diagnosed respiratory problems and irritation of the throat, nose, and eyes, as well as having to deal with pests and polluted water, according to an article titled How Does Recycling Influence Air Pollution? The equation we have here is pretty self-explanatory. The higher our fossil fuel use, the higher the amount of pollutants that are released into the atmosphere. So what is the solution? By now you should know that it begins with an R, recycling. A facts and figures study done in 2014 by the EPA found that recycling helps 89 million tons of solid waste from ending up in the U.S. landfills every year, which is about 1/3 of the amount of trash we create annually. In conclusion, or to put it simply, recycling lessens energy use, air pollution, and landfill space. Given that every single one of us throws out an average of 2.5 pounds of trash, I feel it's everyone's responsibility to look after the place we live in, much like we clean out our home every single day. If we all contribute our part, we have the ability to leave this world better than how we found it. So for the sake of the future generations to come, reduce, reuse, and recycle.